wonderful cities and great empires on the continent of Africa. The citizens of those cities and empires were merchants and traders, brilliant scholars and teachers, brave hunters, and hard-working farmers. At harvest time, a holiday was held in almost all African farming communities. The people would gather together to celebrate the first fruits of the harvest. In places where Swahili, an African language, was spoken, the holiday was called Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa means the first fruits picked at harvest time. Today, millions of African Americans celebrate a holiday with the same name, but with a slightly different spelling, at community gatherings and in homes around the country. But the purpose of the modern celebration is different. Today's Kwanzaa helps families better understand their heritage. It is also celebrated to build strong bonds in African American families. Kwanzaa is held during a 7-day period each year, from December 26th to January 1st. Many families that celebrate the holiday wear traditional African clothing at least part of the time during these 7 days. Boys and men may wear an African-style hat called a kofi, as well as a long shirt called a dashiki or kanzu. They also may wear beads and other African ornamental items, such as seashell bracelets. Women and girls may put on a dress called a lapa or buba, and they often braid their hair into beautiful cornrows. Many special objects are used to celebrate Kwanzaa. For many families, the holiday begins by placing a mat, the first special object, on a table. The mat stands for African American history and the ideas upon which Black people can guide their lives. The next special object, a candle holder, is then placed on the mat. 3 red candles are still other objects used during Kwanzaa. They stand for the struggles of Black people in our country, struggles for freedom and dignity, and struggles against prejudice. There are also 3 green candles. They represent the rich green lands of Africa and hope for the future. Hope that today's youngsters, with hard work and determination, will build a better life for themselves and their children. The single black candle stands for all the African American people. In addition to the mat, candles, and candle holder, a basket of fruit and vegetables, a reminder of the ancient harvests of Africa, is used during Kwanzaa celebrations, as are ears of corn, which stand for the children of the family, 1 ear for each child. Finally, the kikombe cha umoja, a ceremonial cup, is brought to the celebration. It stands for unity among the African American people. The modern celebration of Kwanzaa was started by Dr. Maulana Karenga, a university professor. Dr. Karenga studied many different groups of Africans and found that most of them were guided by 7 important ideas or principles. Unity, being yourself, helping one another, sharing, having a goal, creating, and believing. Each day of Kwanzaa celebrates one of those principles. The first day helps people understand the idea of unity or joining together. After the black candle is lit, members of the family discuss why it is important for people to join together in families, neighborhoods, and communities.
Community is important because we all help each other and work together.
It's important because when our neighbors get sick, we help them out by going to the grocery store and getting them groceries.
After the discussion, the kikombe cha umoja is filled with fruit juice or water, some of which is then poured into a bowl to honor family members who have died.
This reminds me of Grandma Sarah. When she was alive, she worked throughout the community to help others. She even helped both of you with your homework.
After drinking from the cup, someone says,
Harambe!
which means let's all work together.
Harambe!
Everyone joins in, saying the word 7 times.
Harambe! Harambe!
Then, as the Kikombe Cha Umoja is passed around,
James Weldon Johnson.
names of great African American leaders are called out.
Booker T. Washington.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Afterwards, everyone thinks about the accomplishments of those outstanding individuals. Finally, the first day's celebration ends with dinner. The second day of Kwanzaa celebrates the idea of being yourself and having the courage to stand up for what you believe is right. As the candles are lit, each person tells what she or he wants to do with his or her life. Then, as the Kikombe Cha Umoja is passed around, family members, much as they did during the first night of Kwanzaa, discuss relatives who have passed away.
I miss my Aunt Dale, my mom's sister. She was a wonderful person and so very spiritual.
I miss my dad because he was a role model for me. He was a very supportive person in the community.
On the third day, the principle of working together to help others is discussed.
The corn is for the children, but it also reminds us of hard work. You know, farmers and their helpers work very hard planting and harvesting the food. But look at what their hard work rewards us with.
In many families, pictures or keepsakes are brought out and stories are told about family members who lived their lives according to the principle of working together to help others. The fourth principle of Kwanzaa is sharing in order to benefit others. Once again, the day's idea is discussed.
We had a canned food drive at school and we helped feed the homeless.
Remember when Dad started that group Southside Positive Youth with Mr. Lynch? They helped the children in the community with their resources.
On the fifth day of Kwanzaa, people talk about having a goal.
When I grow up, I want to be a baseball player, and if that doesn't work, I want to be a video game producer.
When I grow up, I want to be someone who designs buildings and an architect.
Many families have an African-styled meal at least one time during Kwanzaa. Everyone sits on the floor and eats African foods. Sometimes the meal is eaten African style, without silverware. The sixth day of Kwanzaa celebrates creativity, often shown by the beautiful African-style clothing, crafts, jewelry, and artwork displayed for everyone to look at and perhaps to buy. All these creative items are often displayed at special Kwanzaa markets, similar to the outdoor markets found in many African countries. Drummers, whose drum beats call the people to Kwanzaa celebrations, also may be seen on the sixth day. They remind everyone of African drummers whose drums announce to villagers that a festival is about to take place. In many ways, Kwanzaa celebrations are similar to those African events. For example, community leaders dress in beautiful African clothing and sit at honored places on stage, just as African chiefs and their wives dress in all their finery and sit in special reviewing stands. At Kwanzaa celebrations, a ceremony called a libation is performed to honor the memory of important ancestors. The same ceremony is performed during many African festivals. Special African foods are often served at community celebrations of Kwanzaa also. This spicy chicken dish is popular in Ethiopia, a country in Eastern Africa. African American musicians are almost always a featured part of Kwanzaa's celebration of African and African American creativity. Dancers are almost always featured as part of the 6 days festivities too. African American storytellers often recite traditional tales during these holiday programs. As on the other days of Kwanzaa, candles are lit on the sixth day. And then people may talk about the creative ways they can make their neighborhoods more beautiful. As the evening of the sixth day draws to an end, children are often given two presents. The first is almost always a book. The second may be an African carving, a picture, or something that once belonged to a relative. The last day of Kwanzaa, January 1st, is usually more solemn than the others. On that day, the seventh principle, believing, is discussed. As the final candles are lit, family members talk about what they believe in.
I believe in parents and teachers because they help me along the way. I believe my family is very important because
the last day of Kwanzaa is also a time to discuss the past year and to share ideas about what can be done to make the new year better. For the last time, juice or water is poured from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, and for the last time, the words Harambe are shouted. Kwanzaa is over for the year, but the 7 principles of the holiday won't be forgotten. Unity, being yourself, helping one another, sharing, having a goal, creating, and believing. The principles of Kwanzaa, principles to guide our lives. True or false? There were brilliant scholars and teachers in ancient Africa, but no brave hunters. In Swahili, Kwanzaa means A. Celebration. B. Community. C. The first fruits of the harvest. Why is Kwanzaa celebrated? Who started Kwanzaa? When is Kwanzaa celebrated? A buba is A. An African hat. B. A long African dress. C. A hairstyle that uses cornrows. Fill in the blanks. The two things the green candles represent are and. Which is not a principle of Kwanzaa? A. Sharing. B. Making a profit. C. Having a goal. What does Harambe mean? True or false? The Kikombe Cha Umoja is used to light candles.